What is up, Ludi Bros Army? It's your boy, Big Bro Lamar Ludi, and I've got a very special video for you guys today. I'm sitting down with Andrew Klinger. He's a friend of mine that I met a couple years ago in South Dakota, and he placed very highly. I'll let you guys tell you his placement. He placed very high at this recent national event for Dragon Ball Super card game, and he was running a deck that you might be surprised he was running. But before we get into his deck profile, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, turn that notification bell on. Be ready for more content like this. So I'm going to turn it over to Andrew. What were you running at the event, and why did you choose that leader?
Well, if you know me at all, it might not be a surprise because I've been playing this guy for, it seems like years now, and I've gotten a couple online regional tops with it too. So I went with green Gotenks. He's my boy. I mean, I feel like when you go into something this big, you want to go with comfort, and then, but it also has to be good at the same time, right? And you got to have reasoning for why you think it's good. And this deck has the best 2-drop in the game. I mean, there's nothing more than that. So, yeah.
I think
that's who I played.
For the last, I've known you for about 2 years now, and you were on Gotenks all the way back then, so you really know the deck in and out.
Yeah, back set 10. I mean, I started with Ginyu, but like I ran into problems against Senzu Bean decks and stuff like that, and Floodgate decks, and it's fun. It's a little RNG, but just going wide and low isn't a very good strategy. But yeah, so I got 23rd place at Nats.
Nice.
Nearly got the top 16 to get the medal leader and to do day 2 playoffs. It probably should have been 32. I think they've done 32 at the other nationals. But you know, I'm happy with where I placed it. That was my goal, and I met my goal. So yeah, man, had a good time.
That's awesome to be so high at such a big event, dude. So congratulations to you. All right, well, let's go ahead. We'll jump right into the deck profile, and let's see what kind of tech you're running in your deck.
And here we go. Okay. All right, so the leader, if you don't know, has a awakening condition. When you play a unison specific cost of 2, you can go down to 6 life, flip over, untap, draw 1. The leader has some unique abilities that people often forget about. Obviously, it's an attack draw card one, but it has a permanent. Your opponent's leader cannot attack your own battle cards, and that used to never come up ever. But until you get into good games like at Nationals, it came up a few times, and it was relatively important. Then you have 2 abilities on the active main, which you can choose either one time. You can either just pay a green, remove a unison marker, very clutch, or you can pay a green, discard. Choose 1 green card in your hand. That's what I thought. So I was like making sure it's a green card. You can discard a green card and then play 2 15K ghost tokens in rest mode. They don't have combo power, but they're nice sometimes. You don't do that against green. Dormant potential can just clear them, but occasionally it comes out.
Okay.
Specifically like Cell Surge when you're playing your battle cards in rest mode anyway, or Poutine. If you need to get around Poutine in the yellow decks, great way to dodge Poutine. You just say, comes in with an effect, Poutine triggers, choose a battle card. Okay, now that that's over, let me play my Grim Reaper.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
Yep. So it's very clutch. All right, and then we got the engine of the deck. We got 4 Goku, 1001 power. I've been calling him my Saiyan Instincts, but you search exactly what you need because it's a +2 for 2 energy, but you find your pieces. So, I mean, you get 3 cards. Yeah, you lose a card out of your hand when you do it. So,
starts you off.
Yeah, so he's clutch. He's amazing. You like to see him. You like to hold on to him for sure. What he finds is this Gotenks here, the 6-drop, Grim Reaper of Justice. Like I was saying, best 2-drop in the game. Deflect, 6-drop, dual attack. KOs a battle card, draws 2 cards. When it dies, or via battle or removed by a skill, you get your fusion pieces back. So with the unison, with the piece that we'll talk about in a bit, this can see 4 new cards in your hand, and then you get those 2 cards back if they kill it. I mean, not much more to say about him. He's a boss.
Right.
Fusion pieces here. We play 3 of these trunks. This guy looks at top 7 for unison when you fuse. So that's good. So Also, order of operations. You can choose when to do these things. You kind of go off a feel. Like if you just drew a unison, usually I just draw a 3 first, and then you'll see why the third one comes in later. But draw, and look for unison. Or if you know you haven't seen one, then you look for unison first. He also has a second ability to play this guy from the deck. You can play a Goten 15k 3-drop. Mm-hmm. So you can pay 1, play this guy from your deck. Swing if you want, 15k swing. This guy also bounces back to your hand, and you look at top 5 for Gotenks or Unison, and it whiffs all the time. So don't rely on that unless you like really, really need your Unison, and that's lucky there. You can also play him from hand by creating a life. Sort of relevant because you get stuck with 6 life a lot, and you want to make your super combos live. And then I play 1 more fusion piece, Sun Goten, Brimming with Talent. This just lets you pay a green and get him back from your drop area into hand. So usually when you go Kuel, you're going to want to find these 2 pieces off the bat out of your deck. These are the go-tos for sure, and try to leave these in your deck.
Okay.
The Unison that came with the archetype is the Vegito Unison. Once per turn you fuse, you draw a card, so that's where you drew 3 cards. And then it's got +2, which is strong, so it's harder to remove. Gives your green battle cards revenge. Not super relevant in my build because I'm not playing any mono green blockers. Okay. And his -7 is insane. You look at their life, put 1 in the drop area, then they choose 3 to discard. That's usually, your win con if they let it happen. And then I also play 2 of the Bardock Paternal Unison. This is just for more consistency, always finding Unison on turn 2, always plussing off that fusion piece. It doesn't hurt to find more Unisons because you always pitch green cards for effects too. Dormant Potential, your Leader ability. They're just good cards to have.
Okay, so I have a question here. So why the Bardock as opposed to the Frieza? Is there the 2-drop Frieza Unison? Is there any reason why you went that route?
Well, the anti-combo on this guy's pretty boss. There are scenarios like against Soul Striker where I think the Frieza might be better for just some crit pressure. But his -3 is pretty insane. That could be an alternate win condition too. He becomes a 20k dual double, and you'll see in my deck why dual attack is also very strong.
Okay.
So that's kind of why I went with him. It's either way, you're going to prefer the Vegito. So It doesn't matter too much. You could play the Frieza. That's viable. Unison cards. We got the Frieza Charismatic Villain, kill a 7 or less if you have 2 markers, and Dormant Potential Unleashed. A lot of people are playing only 3 of these nowadays, but Dormant's a card that when you need it, you need it. So you want to see it. And like I said before, you're going to draw a lot. So like having clunkier cards in your hand doesn't hurt you too bad. You get rid of them. Then we have best super combo for green, Paragus. Draw 2, warp 1, but you have to be at 4 life to do it. So oftentimes you're playing a long game, you're at 6 life the whole time. The reason you don't play Gohan is because this is always a 10k combo. So there's that choice. Because of this whole 6 life situation, I play 2 Shocking Death Balls instead of 2 Homicidal Clones. It's clutch against hand destruction, especially too, just to take yourself from 6 to 5, and then you could play a Gohan or a Goten Trunks to crit yourself down to 4 if you want. Make your super combos live.
So no clones in your main board?
No clones in the main. Clones in the main. It's a good card, but if you're at 6 life, it's dead.
It's dead, yeah. Good point.
This is one of the MVPs of the deck for sure. Selzer Destroying Kamehameha. Maybe the best card like green has. Besides Reaper. But it gives you 15k combo, which when you're drawing a lot of extra cards in unisons, the combo comes in really nice to have. So that makes your leader a 30k. They oftentimes don't expect it, and you can RNG rip a secret rare out of their hand like I did in round 1. That felt really good. Yeah. Another MVP of the deck is Dodoria Brimming with Power. If you don't know what this does, it requires a unison in play. So hopefully you don't lose your unison. But this stops at 2 or less being played for 1 energy, and he comes out and he's a 1-drop 5k combo. So this hits Floodgate battle cards. This hits Shin Shenron balls. after you kill their 4-drop or 8-drop or 9-drop or whatever. Accepts a lot of good things. This is a very good card. You want to see this card against every color. I mean, red has Topo, yellow has Freezes, blue has Heroic Prospects. They rely on those cards, and you punish them for relying on it.
So with as much as you draw, do you feel like 2 is enough, or would you want to bump that up?
Yeah, 2 is a great number for any card that you like. Is a good tech choice. 2 is a great number. You do draw a lot. But it's so archetypal, so that's the majority of your deck. You don't have much room to fidget with, especially because we are running a blue-green engine. So you have Tapion blocker. This for 1 blue or green, you can pay it, draw a card, and then play him at the end of turn. He's a 15k body with blocker. Great for protecting your Unison on turn 2 when you awaken if you don't have a Go Heal to resolve.
Okay.
And then you just Tapion with your extra energy. Or you save it for Seltzer destroying. Wildlife Protector doesn't come in energy exhaust if you have one of these already charged. So this is your ideal turn 1 play, is charge pass.
Okay.
Kind of stinks, but the meta is slower than it used to be. So,
that's true.
you can get away with it. And Sensu Bean is just insane with dual attack, extending your plays, doing more than one thing at a time. I mean, I used to play mono green, and I don't know how I did so well with it. I played it on day 2 for the Unison Warrior event, and I was just like taking out all these good cards, and I was like, man, I can only play one thing a turn. That's just not fair.
Right. Nice splash in.
Yeah. This shout out to Los. He's from Texas. He topped recently on an online event with blue green, and so I gave it a try. And I will never go back.
There you go.
And then we got a couple 1-ups. So we got a Rosie here. This card is mainly for long games against mono blue. Sometimes Self Surge. But you think about it, if you can get her with a bean, I mean, 20k triple attack, they already had to discard 2. If you're pushing their life, that's so many resources they have to use. So she's an amazing card. Deflect. Everything has deflect. So it's great. We are playing Fight Against Fate, another dual attacker that you can Sensu Beam. Great card. And our secret rare is Selzino.
All right, Selzino.
Yeah.
So when were you dropping this out? Were you dropping it late to get the full effect, or?
One time all day, I did drop it on turn 4 just because he has that 1 life. And if you're swinging twice with both Reapers, another 40k swing, that's going to be hard to go. But yeah, I played him a few times on turn 5. It was great. Great choice.
Yeah.
I was going to do Kibito Kai absorbed, but that secret rare is completely useless against blue. And I was concerned about my mono blue matchup. So this just wins games that you maybe have no business of winning. Shout out to the Boston boys that I met. Yeah, the guys from Boston convinced me that this card's better, so good thing I brought it. So that's the main part. Yeah, okay. 54 or 53. The previous night I bumped up to a 4th Tapion blocker because it really sucks when you don't see a blue-green turn 1. So I feel like seven targets is enough to mulligan for. So
okay, let's check out the side.
All right, so we have another Brimming with talent. This is for Self-Surge matchup. I mean, if you can't find your other Brimming, your Goten, you're going to want to find the other one. You're going to want 2 in your deck, or at least 1 in your deck to find, because you can do so many plays, make tokens, get this back. Like, it turns into a slower game, so you can use that energy less aggressively and just get value. Okay. So you need to find 1 in your deck. You can't have that 1 in your life, so you need a second one. You have the 5-drop Gotenks. This is... for any barrier removal, or if they Meki Kabura the Broken Seal you, and they stop you from playing Gotenks 6, well, you can play Gotenks 5. Yeah. He is kind of a last resort, because when he dies, you don't get your pieces back, and you only draw 1 when you fuse him. But he's great. He removes 2 Unison markers and KOs a card ignoring barrier, so great against Self Surge, because you got to kill that Broly Unison right away. Okay. Play a blue Impulse. This would be for anything that goes wide and plays defensive battle cards. I mean, I don't think I sided it in, but it's a good card. It's a good card. Yeah. One's Masu, Deity's Wrath. I'm actually switching the Rosie with this because Rosie's just too expensive.
Yes, yeah. The 3 energy versus just the 1, and getting rid of a Frieza charismatic villain.
Yeah, especially when you're making Celzino, you want that 5-drop to stick on board, and you can just play a Gokul and then make Celzino.
Okay.
And then obviously he's a great card. I mean, we just saw him destroy top 16 and get second place with a bunch of these. Bounce it back to my hand with a blue counterplay. Then I paid 1 energy for them to discard a card. That's fine. That's fine. And then I was playing Secret Identity in the side to switch out with Fighting Against Fate if they went wide, or if I was against Gogeta, Xeno, play a lot of 1-drops. You want to clear those with this rather than Dormant, because those 1-drops make you discard a card or warp a card. So he's pretty explanatory when you need more board control. I got another Overrealm swap for late game, Who Shrouded. Everybody needs to be playing one of these in their sideboard. Games go late. You got to have an answer for the decks that are designed to go late as well. I go with 1 Champa in the side. This could be in the main very easily. But honestly, the threat of having a Champa is also a thing. So you can get away with sideboarding it, and then you kind of know when you need it. So I'd sideboarded it in a few times. I would usually see it, and it was really good. I mean, it's Champa. These 2 cards. We were talking with the Minnesota guys. These could easily get banned. These 2 cards.
They're in everybody's deck, or like you said, either the main or the side. No matter what deck it is, you're going to see a copy of each card.
And we talked about this before. 2 homicidal clones. This is for the really aggressive matchups, or even Self Surge, because Dormant's a dead card against it. So you side out all those, put these in. These came in clutch. I played Marcel Russell. I mean, pretty much the best player for the first year and a half of the game. He was winning everything in the last round. So mad props to him. But this card, I found it in my life as he was going to swing double strike for game. And it was a wild game, wild finish.
There you go.
But yeah, he's clutch. 2 Urgent Ikami. This would be for Soul Striker. I never got to play Soul Striker, fortunately, I guess. So he says when they untap energy using a non-awakened skill, during their turn, you can choose an energy and KO it or whatever. So, and blue hate. 2 Mech for Broken Seal. This is for linear decks, slower matchups that they're going to do. Maybe the mirror, I guess.
Yeah, what I'm trying to go into.
Yeah, this card just rewards deck knowledge, as Matt from the guy I roomed with from Minnesota, he was saying. I was like, okay, never cited it in. I'm just doing too much. So it's just it seems like expensive, And then 2 Koitsukai punishes those people playing Floodgate battle cards or charismatic villains. And, it's a good card in general. If you feel like you could use it and don't need a card in your deck,
put that in.
It's tough to sideboard though, because my main deck, I love it so much where it's at right now. So I'm actually going to change it to a lot of 1-ups. Okay. So I'm actually going to probably, if you want to talk changes I might make, I'm thinking this Boo Boo Volleyball would be a good change to put in the side. This negate, you discard a card, then you get your pieces back. So what would happen against like Sin Shenron or other yellow decks, they can negate your Gotenks Reaper skill, kill it, and then you get your fusion pieces back. So this, I would side this in against yellow for sure.
Okay, yeah, then you're able to keep your hand full by getting those cards back from the drop area.
Yeah. I mean, this would basically, for any other deck, if it just said 1 mana negate, draw a card, like that's not bad.
Right.
And this kind of just is the exact cards you need. And yeah, I'm gonna, like I said before, this Masu going back in the main board. And then there is a 1-drop Vegeta that KOs all 1-drops. I think I'm gonna sideboard 2 of those as well, because Gogeta Xeno can play a lot of 1-drops. And I saw the Gotenks, other blue green Gotenks, next to me in the last round, and he lost to Gogeta Xeno, and I looked over and the guy had like 4 1-drops out, and I was just like, oh man. So that Vegeta would come in clutch for sure.
Right. Well, hey, already in the lab, already tinkering and tweaking away. That's good. All right,
for
man.
Sure.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to sit down with us. I really do appreciate it. 23rd, congratulations again. Did you have any shout outs that you wanted to get out there before we wrap up this video?
I guess I'd shout out to my friends in Minnesota. They're very welcoming. We had a great time. The Omaha guys, they came with some cards for me that I really needed, so that was nice. Like I said before, to the Boston guys convinced me to play Salzino, and Game Chest in Sioux Falls. Great gaming store. She lets us hang out. We got a small community, but she still supports us, so we appreciate her.
There you go. All right, man. Well, thanks once again for sitting down with me, and thank you guys for tuning into this video. I hope you enjoyed his deck profile. Remember the name Andrew Klinger. You'll probably see it up on those top lists in the future. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning into this video. I'll see you guys next time.